Hello and welcome to the Granite Mountain Movie Club, where we discuss movies and pop culture, primarily from what I would say is like a socially conservative perspective. If you just randomly found this on YouTube, a lot of people lately have just been finding my. These are podcasts, but I post them on YouTube as well. If you're one of the people who just randomly is finding this, stick around for a bit. Please subscribe, hit like button. Leave a comment, and the reason for that is not just because I like to see like the big number go up. The reason is because YouTube does not treat you like you're very much a second class citizen on YouTube until you have a bunch of followers or subscribers. So please subscribe, even if you don't plan to ever listen again, even if you hate what you are about to hear. Please subscribe.
Yeah, especially if you hate it.
Especially, yeah. Actually, nothing hurts more. Nothing hurts us more than you subscribing.
Yeah. If you really hate what you heard, subscribe. That'll make me mad.
And if you were just like searching for Coco Melon videos or something and you accidentally found this, just leave this on because I feel that our voices are very soothing anyway for like a child to listen to.
Yeah,
Probably
it's like
calming.
ASMR.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lots of people have told me that they put my recordings on so so their children can relax.
I actually turned one of your podcasts on. It was like my grandma was in the ICU and she was in a coma, and I just like it was the last thing she heard. I played it for her for like a week.
Wow,
it was really
powerful.
Cool. Yeah, and you could see all the like brain waves going up and down when I would play it, and yeah. So true story. She's fine, by the way.
Actually, the majority of our fan base is toddlers and younger. Or infants. People who are brain dead. Yeah.
Infants.
We get a lot of fan mail from them.
Majority of our fans are in the ICU.
Yeah.
They're forced to listen. They can't change it.
I'm not seeing like the waves on my speech, so hopefully it's recording for me. But
I see them on my end.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Let us know, the folks at home, if you see waves for Granite's voice.
Comment down below.
Yeah. Are you seeing sound waves right now? Do you have synesthesia?
Yeah. What color do you see?
Or what color do you hear?
Yeah. Color and see is the right thing.
Yeah. So
what color do you see?
What food do you taste? Oh, dang it.
I didn't introduce my guest.
Oh, yeah.
But we've got Giordano here, who Giordano was actually the first guest I ever had here. He's a cool guy. He's got a book called The Mambo Wizard. I'll put a link and you can buy it. You should buy it. You need to buy it. It's important that you do. And then I got Cool Fraser here, who we've not really officially discuss this, but he's more or less the co-host. He's on almost all the episodes.
There was some recent fan outrage on this topic.
Yeah, one of our fans was like, was concerned that Cool Fraser was getting a bad deal.
Was trying to get me to unionize against you.
Yeah. Which I will give you 100% of the income from this show.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Cool Fraser and Granite Wars.
I'm Cool Fraser. I'm cool and I'm listening.
Yeah. So if you're,
I think Fraser's the real Fraser, like regular Fraser, original recipe Fraser. I think his tagline is "I'm listening."
Yeah.
Not sure though. Never seen the
radio show. Yeah. Roz was the lady who worked there in the booth.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a name.
It sounds like I still to this day that makes me angry just thinking about it. Her name was Roz.
Was that the English woman?
Yeah.
No. The English woman was that was like the caretaker for Fraser's decrepit father.
Oh.
What was her name?
Oh, I don't know.
It's okay.
No one will ever know.
Judy,
yeah.
We try really hard on this show to not know anything about Fraser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize.
It's like Fraser. We're avoiding Fraser info hazards at every turn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So today, if people are still listening, today we're talking about the movie Nope, 2022, from Jordan Peele. Nope.
Nope.
What is the true meaning of Nope?
Mm.
So I think we'll just get into it. Well, there's some other topics that could have some other stuff in the news that entertainment stuff. Maybe we'll touch on one of them real quick. There's that new Lord of the Rings, and there's that there's a new Little Mermaid, and both of these shows are kind of in the news because they feature black people in roles that most people would associate with white people. How do you guys feel about that?
What were the two shows?
Little Mermaid. I guess I guess they're remaking that live
Yeah.
action, and I guess the Little Mermaid now is African American.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is she American?
Oh, I don't know. She could be African.
Yeah.
She's a great young lady. I think.
Oh, the other one was Lord of the.
what was it?
Not Lord
Oh,
of the
Lord
Rings.
of the Rings. Yeah.
Lord of the
Power of
Rings.
the Rings.
Power of the Rings. Yeah. Everyone go watch Power of the Rings.
Rings power.
Yeah, Rings Power.
Rings of
Sonic the
Power.
Hedgehog. Okay. I think.
I have thoughts on both, but probably longer than this little intro prior
Right.
to our Nope discussion. But
Yeah.
I think I don't think there's an issue with. I think more people have had an issue with her weird fish-like qualities. Her eyes are very far apart,
hmm
like mine, which is okay. But that's more what I've seen as the issue that people are having. Eyes are too
Oh,
weird.
interesting.
Yeah.
So they're not racist. They have some sort of bigotry against.
Yeah, I guess IIST
Eye
or something.
spacing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just know from what I've observed, just from being on the internet and whatnot, the African American community was clamoring for more mermaid related media and mermaid representation, and
hmm
Disney delivered, and they saw the market, and that's about the extent of it.
Yeah,
You,
that was a big trend for a while. Black Twitter, they were all like, "When are we finally going to get shows about black people that live in the sea? When
Yeah.
are we going to
yeah.
get that?"
Yeah, ocean glow.
Yeah. The one thing I did see is some people were making the argument that according to the principles of evolution, you wouldn't need a lot of skin coloring if you lived deep in the sea.
Well,
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Um, but yeah, apparently Matt Walsh made that point as a joke, and a bunch of people got mad at him
yeah,
because
Well,
and then he asked them to define what a mermaid is.
yeah. Well, we won't try and solve one of our generation's most pressing issues, which is what races belong in what movies. uh, but
Well, speaking of which, I watched the live play of Little Mermaid that they did in like 2016, 17-ish. I don't know if
oh,
you guys remember this.
no, I think I heard of it.
it was a live
Yeah,
play.
yeah, it was like put
Oh,
on by whichever
like filmed
studio.
completely underwater.
Yes, filmed underwater. No,
Underwater
it was
theater.
filmed on a stage, and it
Mm.
was like a one shot go, and Shaggy was the crab,
Oh,
and Queen Latifah was the trans Ursula,
mm.
and then they got the voice of Moana to be Ariel, and some white guy to be the white guy. And so they already have done a race swap with a Pacific Islander, and but nobody seemed to care, I guess, back then.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, I
But
remember.
it kind of makes more sense, I guess. They're like sea people, I guess. I don't know.
Island
of
people. Yeah.
of the sea. They live on
Yeah.
islands. When I was in high school or middle school or something, my sister recorded off of TV a special Disney presentation of Cinderella, starring Brandy.
Brandy. Yeah, I remember
I
that.
think as Cinderella, and
Yeah.
and like her mom was Whoopi Goldberg, and her dad was
Nice.
an Asian man, and I don't remember, it was like John Woo or something, and that's the director. But anyway, yeah, that happened, and everyone I recall at the time, we just kind of scratched our heads. We're like, that doesn't really make any sense, and whatever, and just sort of moved on. But it's like that was a long time ago. I don't know what year that was, but
Mm-hmm.
they've just have been doing that for some time.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people's argument is, well, don't replace like the skin color that was historically in that role. Just go make a new role and just go make a new thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about Nope today, and that's kind of what Jordan Peele did.
It's a
Jordan
new
Peele.
thing.
He just makes new things, right? So, what I thought would be interesting is if you guys could take this new thing that Jordan Peele has made, but let's recast it as a white thing. So who in Nope would
Great
you
idea.
recast with a white person?
I would replace the main guy with Dave Franco.
Wait, but he looks kind of like the third character, the electronics guy.
Don't worry about it. Dave Franco's moving up. Okay.
I'm sorry, but is this? I don't actually know what Dave Franco was. He in?
You know James Franco?
I know James Franco.
This is his little brother.
It's like a smaller James
sweet.
Franco.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. I don't think I've seen him in anything.
He's
yet.
not as handsome. But he's not. I mean, he's a handsome guy.
He was
but
in
not-
Now You See Me.
Oh, no, I've never seen that.
he
We
was
should
in
do
that.
that movie. Can we just switch? Instead of reviewing Nope, we just review Now You See Me.
Is that the Jesse Eisenberg one?
Yeah, where they do like magic.
That's a magic movie. I always wanted to see that.
I feel like it's right up your alley.
It is, because I always love embarrassing magicians. So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
my favorite thing in the world.
What about Fraser? What about the role of the girl? Who would you cast there?
Hold on, I'm saving it.
Oh, so did I do mine?
Yeah, you go.
Okay.
You go.
Okay.
Come back to me for the woman.
male actor, I would cast Sean Astin from 1992. Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah,
So Rudy.
Yeah, I want Rudy to be in this.
I like
Or
that.
Samwise, because I just thought like that was what that guy kind of reminded me of, and he also had kind of the same head shape, kind of had
Yeah.
a hobbit-like head.
And they're chubby. They're both kind of chubby.
Yeah, relatable, down to earth, earthy. Like an everyman.
Yeah.
Riding around on horses and stuff. So that's what it was. It was 1992 Sean Astin.
Yeah, Sean Astin's he's believable in this role as a horse boy.
A horse groom. And oh, by the way, and we're keeping all of the dialogue is the same though.
Yeah, everything's the same.
The script and everything. So he's descending. He's like, my grandfather was a
black
Caribbean
man.
jockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the same. Okay, good. That's why I had Sean Astin. I'm guessing. I bet you anything that me and Cool Fraser have the same female.
Fraser, do you want him to go first with the female?
You go first, and I'll tell you if it's the same.
Okay, dang it! I forgot her name. What is her name?
What is she in?
Gosh, I don't know. I asked my wife who this woman was, and she told me her name.
Mine was actually going to be Aquafina. I was just throwing an Asian in there.
Oh, we're allowed to do that? Wait, yeah, because she's.
I don't know. I'm not a rule follower, so I do what I want.
Mine was going to be Rebel Wilson.
Oh, isn't she? Yeah, that's a good one actually.
Sean Astin and Rebel Wilson.
Yeah.
Starring in Jordan Peele's Nope.
Yeah, you need kind of a fast talker.
I thought it should be funny because she'd be like, my father was the first black man. Let's go smoke some weed and get high. And like, that'd be funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's in though. She is kind of a meme. I only know her as a meme.
Yeah, Oh, speaking of smoking weed, it seems so trashy to me, like to just be like a grown adult who's like, "Let's go into our house and smoke weed together." But like maybe the rest of the society just is like okay with it, and that's just like something I have. But
I was gonna get into this. We'll just address it now.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
So two
those are my
things.
notes.
She calls it hobby weed. What's hobby weed?
Oh,
it's like a weed you do for a hobby.
A hobby
Yeah,
weed.
maybe it's a British term.
Yeah. Okay.
Long bottom hobby weed.
Presumably, it's their dad's.
Oh, so were they like they smoked weed with their dad?
Maybe. Well, certain communities do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
What communities?
Certain communities. I remember in high school hanging out with my extremely diverse juggalo friends, and they would like. And then one night we ended up at some guy's house, and they were participating in weed smoking.
A little hobby weed.
Hobby weed. I never did. I never touched the stuff.
They were doing hobby whippets.
Yeah. Hobby heroin. And they were and then like one of this guy's moms comes down, like a middle-aged woman. Oh, hey guys, what you doing? And she's just like, they start passing it around to the mom, and I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever. It sucked. But I always remember that because sometimes moms and dads get involved.
Oh yeah, I knew parents who
they
would do that.
Yeah. I thought to myself though, my note for the weed smoking scene was nothing like hanging out with your brother, like smoking weed with your sister. It's like, hey sis, let's go do drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, they're brother and sister, right? I mean, did I miss that? But they are, right?
I thought so.
Okay. Now I'm second guessing myself.
They're brother and sister. That's pretty central to the movie.
I thought it was too, but like it seemed like he had more of a relationship. Oh, they kind of talk about it, I guess. But yeah,
she was.
I didn't know if she was like a family friend for a little bit of it or something.
Yeah. She was wayward. She was not
wayward. She was smoking too much hobby weed.
And when she when he brings her back one time, they go to that theme park, and she hadn't. She's like, oh, when did they change the theme park here? Because it used to be a different theme park. And he's like, they changed it 3 years ago. Because they're saying she never comes home. Like she never comes
to the theme park with us anymore.
Yeah.
You know, childless adults going to theme parks. Yeah. I didn't sorry, I was gonna say for the brother and sister thing, I did think it was kind of weird, but I also thought, well, it's kind of weird in a way that I kind of thought was cool because, I mean, in the time before you're married or in college or whatever, I don't know if you have I have a sister who is like a year apart from me, younger, and we would kind of hang out and just because, you know, they're your sibling.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't know, you did that kind of stuff. I never smoked weed with her, but I thought it's a relationship not really shown very much in movies.
I know enough.
A
lot of people do this. It's not I'd say it's pretty common,
but not in movies.
No.
Name another sibling. Go.
Yeah, I think of like Arrested Development. Jason.
Yeah, they're kind of hanging around each other, but
they hang out.
Also kind of like live with each other sometimes.
Also, I mean, like everyone who drinks with their family, and millennials treat weed just like alcohol.
That's true.
So.
That's true. Yeah.
It just stood out to me because I was like, you just like are gonna go smoke some drugs with your sibling now? Like, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine, I guess.
Okay. Well,
all right.
I liked your guys' recastings.
Yeah.
I forgot yours. Aquafina and
Rebel Wilson.
Franco guy.
Yeah, Aquafina and their siblings.
Yeah.
Oh, and the dad?
Oh yeah, who's the dad?
The dad would be John Lithgow.
Oh.
It's a good one.
I didn't cast the dad. He was going to stay the same.
Do one real quick. Come up with one really quick.
Okay, so then as the dad, we would like that to be played by what's the guy from? He's in The Big Lebowski. He does
Bridges. Jeff Bridges.
DeJesus.
Sorry, John Turturro.
John Turturro is who I had in mind. I don't know why. Yeah, John Turturro is the dad
with two fat kids.
He's not really known for being fat at all. But yeah.
Although isn't Rebel Wilson skinny now?
Yeah, I think so. Or kind of. Yeah.
Jeez,
She's
so
Rebel
judgmental.
Wilson skinny.
I don't know.
Look
I'm not trying.
look at this. Wow.
Look at it,
Googled that.
everyone.
Look at that.
I'm gonna make Granite edit a photo of new.
I'm
Rebel
beaming
Wilson.
I'm beaming it directly into your brain. Okay?
Yeah, I'll put a picture of.
Just Google it on your other screen while you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Ah, I'm not sure. It's kind of more of a lateral move for her losing weight.
Oh, a lateral move.
Yeah, but good for her.
Should I explain the plot or the?
Yeah, let's hear what is Nope about.
Just for those who maybe haven't seen Nope and are just listening to this for the comedic effect or whatever.
I would.
Nope follows a pair of siblings, as we've recast, who are African American, and they are animal. Well, specifically horse, I guess. I don't know if they do other animals. They mentioned camels at one point, but I
Their
wasn't
company
sure.
is Haywood Hollywood Horses. So I think.
Yeah, they raise horses and train them to be in movies, and they live next door to a former child star who has made a park, and they're somewhat down on their luck because right at the beginning of the movie, the dad dies in a freak accident where a nickel falls into his eyeball hole.
from
his
like
eye
the
holes.
stratosphere.
His
Yeah.
eyeball. Through his
And
eye.
and then some weird things start happening after that, and there's not really an explanation for it. Seems something sinister is afoot, possibly alien, and the siblings set to work to try to capture exactly what's going on film, and hijinks ensue. That's like the non-spoiler
Yeah.
plot.
Yeah.
That's
Should we try?
not even
Should we see
getting
how
into
far
the
we can go without spoilers?
Sure.
I personally don't care about spoilers, but
No, we're gonna spoil it, and we probably already have, but
yeah.
Because you need to go into this
Spoilers.
movie kind of not knowing anything, I thought.
Probably helps.
Because
There's
I didn't even see a
there's one
commercial for
main
this. Yeah.
there's one main reveal which I
Mm.
will reveal now.
Mm.
So this is the spoiler cutoff.
All right.
So if you're new here, just subscribe, but you can turn it off, I guess. The spoiler is that it's not an alien. Well, it might be an alien, but it's not a UFO.
Right.
Yes, it's not a UFO.
It's
So it's not what you think.
It's an actual living creature that sometimes takes the shape of a UFO.
Just
Yes.
looks a lot like one.
Yeah.
And there's a killer chimp in the film.
Which is somewhat integral to the story, kind of, I guess.
Yes. My favorite thing.
So I think you summarized it well. But Giordano, I'm going to turn to you now. What was the movie trying to do from your perspective, and did they accomplish it?
Oh wow. I don't know. I don't know. I watched in preparation for Nope. What was it? Us. This is Us. Us.
Yeah, This Is Us.
And Get Out.
Giordano watched 6 seasons of the NBC hit show This Is Us.
Just in preparation, because I need to know about white families and whatever. And so Us and Get Out, and then Nope. And then I just was like, as I'm watching these over the span of 2 or 3 days, Jordan Peele. I never watched any of his stuff, but I found him very funny on Key and Peele. But I was like, wow, this guy is either, I'm not sure if he's like a genius or maybe one of the most racist things I've ever seen, because I'm not sure, or both, or neither. Nope, I felt like he was really, really going for a Steven Spielberg type thing. Where it reminded me a lot of, if you ever saw this one, no one cares about this movie anymore, but Super 8.
Yeah.
It reminded me of
Super 8,
8 a lot.
Yeah.
Which was also trying to be like a Steven Spielberg type thing. And
it was like Spielberg trying to do good Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. And and then like I was just like it it was really beautifully shot. It was panoramic, and then I saw the credits at the end. It was all filmed on real film and made for IMAX and all this. Like, he was trying to be super cinematic, and I
Yeah.
thought it did accomplish being cinematic, being kind of weird. Um,
Well, and to a certain extent, and I'm stepping on toes here, but it seems like the movie is somewhat about the business of making movies.
yes, very
Because
much.
it's got all kinds of avenues pointing that direction, but it's not explicitly about any of that, right? Like, it is an alien movie, but there's like the weird director guy who's obsessive about getting the best shot, and then there's the animal trainers. One of the trainers is like, I'm also an actress, and blah blah blah. Then there's like the child star who had the monkey, and yeah, there's a whole cinematography
Yes.
subplot here to the movie. It's about
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
This movie.
So I'm cheating a little bit here, because I saw an interview with Peele, but
Oh.
so one one aspect of it is kind of like, and it seems like almost every director does this at some point. They do like their love letter to cinema, so that's part of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, which I think is the primary like theme, is it's about spectacle, like, and about human obsession with spectacle. Like,
Did he say that?
he uses the word spectacle. Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
then I cheated as well.
oh. um, but I'd love to hear more. What else do you guys think the movie was like trying to do? Or basically, another way of phrasing it is, for what you saw, like, did you think the movie succeeded at whatever you thought it was trying to do?
To a
Like,
certain extent, like, one of the big things of the movie kind of seemed to be like, you gotta do what it takes to get the shot, almost,
mhm.
right? Like, that's the point of the movie, I guess. Like, whatever it takes, whether it's training a wild animal who might maul your face off, or, you know, dedicating your whole life to training horses, and then like, and setting up all the stuff just to get the shot, and kind of the dedication to that seemed to come through fairly strongly.
I think that's right, and one twist I'd put on that is that I think it's meant to be, um, not like glorifying what people do to get the shot, but instead, like, it's supposed to be kind of like a warning, uh, and
Yeah.
and a warning about also, the idea of wild animals, that you can't. Some animals can be tamed, like horses.
Right.
They want to, like, a horse, like, wants to, is like a beast of burden. It wants, like, I guess, a job or something, but a chimp is not. And the sky creature, which they name toward the end of the movie, they give it a name, which is Jean Jacket, was another. It's more like a predator. You can't tame that kind of predator.
Right. And definitely some characters run into issues in the attempt to tame it.
Yeah.
There was this is why I say I don't even know how to talk about this movie, because it was I was anyway, I found it curious and fascinating that the main character's name was OJ, and
Yeah.
they kind of make a joke about it at the beginning, like, oh, there's a black man named OJ working with this horse, and the lady's taken aback slightly, I guess, and he says, no, it's just, he's okay with it. He just goes by OJ. And the guy works with horses, so a lot of times we see OJ with the white Bronco, and we see that,
Right.
like, there's like this repeated thing of like OJ, the white Bronco, and then there's these intercut scenes, especially at the beginning and then again towards the end. I mean, like, you have no idea what the point of them is, but these intercut scenes of showing a chimpanzee going crazy on the set of a TV show where he was like a really famous chimpanzee who, I don't know what happened to him, or he snapped at some point. It was too much for him, I think they said. And he just started attacking a white woman and killed her. Or he didn't actually, no, I'm sorry, he didn't kill her, but he ripped her face off.
Mm-hmm.
So like almost killed this white actress, on the set of a sitcom about a family that owns a chimp, and Glenn from The Walking Dead was in it, and
Yeah.
So then I'm like getting all this weird vibes of like, what? I'm sorry, Jordan Peele. Like, what are you saying here? Like, what are you even trying to say here? About about I don't know, OJ Simpson, or media attention to certain things, or like the flashing lights make the animals go crazy and do horrific, horrible, heinous acts. And so anyway, I don't know how those are all connected, or if Jordan Peele meant to do that. I think that
Well, there's a lot of like hidden stuff like that. Like you mentioned, his name is OJ, and then he wears orange through most of the movie.
right,
And then
yeah.
the sister's name is Emerald, and she wears green a lot, which could also be a homage to the Emerald City, maybe, or something like that. Like, there's a lot of like homages to different films in
Yes.
this film.
Giordano, the the OJ thing that you're pointing out is like I haven't seen Jordan Peele movies. There's like a tradition of going through and like making as many crazy fan theories as you can, and finding all the Easter eggs. He likes to put lots of Easter eggs in his movies.
Mhm.
But I'm wondering, there's something you touched on. I don't even know if you realized how funny this is, but so you have OJ, he has a white Bronco. It's like, was Peele trying to say that OJ was yet another of these like untamable animals? Like OJ Simpson, we should never have tried to tame him. We should have just let him be. Like,
This is why I don't even want to even touch this. Oh, and OJ Simpson was a bit of an actor too. He was dabbled in acting.
yeah, he was
in
pretty
those-
successful.
Yeah, he was in I remember him from the Naked Gun movies when I was little, and then a couple years ago I watched some disaster movie with my mom that he was in, where he played an FBI agent. So yeah, he was pretty successful. Also acting and football, living the dream. And
Mhm.
not actually the only. There was another. Did you watch Us? Because there was an OJ Simpson joke in Us also,
I saw it, but I don't remember.
and it was a fast joke. It was like just a one-liner about OJ Simpson, which you just don't really hear a lot of OJ Simpson references, so it stood out.
Yeah, well, you heard it here.
Yeah,
OJ Simpson was an apex predator, and you could never.
and could not be tamed.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
but
it
he
was
was
the
innocent, of course, but
well, he was found not guilty of all charges. So, if he did it,
Yeah,
this is how it would happen.
if I did it, if I did it,
Easter egg I cheated to find was the director of the commercial is Norman Bates' son in real life, the actor who played Norman Bates.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
interesting.
Like the director guy, the white director guy in a turtleneck.
The guy who was directing from like with the horse at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So there's like some old horror reference.
The lady who sort of recoiled at his name being OJ. Did you notice who that was?
Mm-mm.
That's
someone famous.
Donna Mills. I think she was like a soap opera big time star. And I don't know if there was some significance to her, because she doesn't. I don't think she does a lot of roles. So it's like they went out of their way to cast her, but I'm not sure why.
One now these movies are running together, but one bizarre reference, and this is maybe going back to the Steven Spielberg thing or sort of related, but the name of they go out to eat at a restaurant. It's like a fish restaurant or something, and they're having like a shrimp po' boy, and they're sitting around and then they go outside, and then the name of the restaurant is Copperpot's Cove.
Oh yeah,
and I was that's Chester Copperpot from the Goonies. And then there also was there a Goonies reference in this, or was it in Us? But anyway, there was another reference to the Goonies by Jordan Peele. I'm pretty sure it was in Us, where he shows like a VHS of the Goonies on a shelf of right as Us is starting. Or was it this movie? I'm sorry, I lost track. They all ran together.
I only watched Get Out, the 2003 TV series, where a group of women traveled to different destinations around the world and have all sorts of adventures.
Yeah,
in bikinis.
Yeah, I remember.
Don't Google it.
Well, on the Spielberg thing though, we should probably mention that it was and I think Peele was intentional about this, but this movie has a lot in common with Jaws. It's
Uh,
the sort of like, to me, and I think he consciously was modeling some of the stuff after Jaws, including the final, like the way they defeat the monster is similar to how they defeat Jaws, but
a giant blow up doll.
well,
Yeah,
getting it to consume
a
something that then
giant.
explodes.
It was a giant cowboy, just like Jaws.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I've never even. Okay, this is like one of my movie blind spots, but I've never seen Jaws, and
You've never
Yeah,
seen Jaws?
I've never seen Jaws. I've seen like every stupid shark movie that exists. I've seen
Sharknado 2?
well, probably. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I've seen so many of them, and then Jaws I've never seen. And then I took a intro to film at BYU Idaho when I was like 18 or something, and they had a Jaws night, and I skipped it. I didn't go see it. I'd probably going out with some girl, trying to. And so I never saw Jaws, but I like when I saw the ending part where the big monster UFO creature jean jacket, which makes me, I just resent having to call it that because it's stupid, but it's named Jean Jacket. It ate a giant. See, this is like, I loved this part. I was like, oh, it's eating a giant blow up inflatable cowboy balloon, and then it blew up. Like, that's something you don't see every day. That's weird and cool. Except my one problem, and maybe this is I don't know, this is so stupid, but why was the balloon like floating? Was it filled with helium?
Yeah, that was a helium balloon.
Okay, was it an enormous helium balloon, okay, or something? Or...
Yeah, that
I don't
doesn't
know how
make sense because that would have just been air with like a fan behind it.
or like the Macy's Thanksgiving parade. Are those filled with
Yeah, how do they make
helium?
those
I
float?
don't
Yeah,
actually
those
know.
have helium.
Yeah, because they
I
float.
think long term, having something that big filled with helium is very expensive.
Yeah.
Well, he ate it and then it blew up. And then I thought to myself, oh, that's just like the ending to Jaws, which I've never seen, but I know that that's the ending. So I actually probably, and this is another cool thing from the movie, the very rare Mad Magazine reference. Like, Jordan Peele put in a fake Mad Magazine to, I don't even, it's so convoluted and weird to describe the scene.
Didn't
But
he start on Mad TV?
I think
yeah,
he
he
did.
did, didn't he?
He and Peele were on Mad TV.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's true. And I loved Mad when I was in middle school and high school, but I'm pretty sure there was never an issue about, killer chimpanzee from a fake sitcom. So it was really cool that they like made a fake cover and all this stuff to reference this fake chimp event in
Yeah, that was something I appreciated about this one is like there's a lot of like world building in an
yeah,
otherwise kind of regular world, which like I feel like a lot of movies just neglect.
yeah.
Oh, you mean going back and like inventing
Well, it kind of
in-world
felt like
media
a
and stuff?
real thing, like
Yeah.
like they have a whole storyline and different shows, but it's essentially our world currently. But yeah, it's like, oh, this is kind of like fun. They took
Yeah.
time to invent stuff.
Yeah, it
Well,
was like a GTA version of reality.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
okay, while we're here, while we're being positive, did you guys like this? Like, do you think it was good? And I'm working on a patented scale of 1 to 9. It's not ready yet, but on a scale of 1 to 9,
Oh,
which I can explain later at another episode. But scale of 1
nine,
to 9, what did you guys think?
9 being good.
That's a good question.
I'd give it a 5.
I mean,
5's actually the highest.
Dang it.
Just kidding. No, just kidding. It's 9's the highest.
I watch movies just to like enjoy, usually just colors and moving images, and I don't really like. So the plot, I like to think I can follow the plot. I think I mentioned this, and I don't know if I said this before, but like I'll watch something like Heat, and I can pretty much follow the plot pretty well, or The Wire or something. but then I watch something like this and I just don't understand what's happening, like most of the time. So I'm like, oh, there's a killer chimp, and that'll make sense later. And then, you know, Glenn from The Walking Dead. And then there's like a cowboy town. Okay, it's like it's all building up. Like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is something cool is gonna happen. And then there's like, oh, but then the monster is okay. It's a giant monster. It's not
It's
an
a
a. It's not.
cloud.
It's a giant cloud. It's behind a cloud that doesn't move, which is like a thing from like a Star Trek movie or something. Star Trek Insurrection. And then the thing comes out and oh, but we can't. But it has an EMP in it, so you can't use digital to. But the really important thing, you can't use digital cameras to film it, but you really need to get a photo of it using traditional photography. But then the only access they have is to a photography booth that's inside a well that's in a cowboy ghost town. Everyone knows that, right? You know, when you put your head in the well and then you put the money in, and then you get a Polaroid, and that's going to make you guys millions from a Polaroid from a well.
Yeah, I don't know if that would make them millions.
I just don't understand anymore. Like, what am I watching? Because yeah, that's cool that you got a cool photo of this strange alien being, but I don't know. I just felt like the plot, I didn't understand it anymore. I didn't get where has the alien always been there. So that was my very long answer to say it was visually, it was interesting and stuff. But Jordan Peele, I feel like he did this with all three of his movies. At the end, he doesn't explain what's happening anymore, and I just kind of don't get it. And I just was watching it and just nodding and like, oh, that's neat, interesting stuff.
So it's on a scale.
So that's a 4.
So I would say that's a 9 for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would probably never rewatch this, but it was a great experience.
Yeah. That's kind of, I gave it a 5 just thinking because like it's a good movie in that it's fun, it's interesting, it's something new. But I didn't like love it or anything, and it's not one that I like crave to see again where I'm like, oh, I gotta go see this movie again.
I was more interested in Glenn from The Walking Dead I just wanted to like a movie about his career and how he went from being a child star in some 90s TV show about Sheriff Kid, and then he like ran his own Wild West show in California. So that was cool and weird.
I liked the weird motorcycle guy that shows up on an electronic motorcycle with a fully reflective helmet.
Yeah, it was like a guy from Daft Punk shows up at the end, and then they're like, "Oh no, he's from TMZ," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it was very odd in an odd insertion, and I was just like, "Okay."
The TMZ. So the TMZ thing is a couple things there. His helmet is like a callback to that reflective like thing that scared the horse earlier.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I got that.
And then also the kind of one of the main themes is spectacle, and TMZ is a big driver of like spectacle culture. And then one other thing is it's if we were to make a movie, like we might just for fun have think of some kind of person that we maybe don't like very much. We might make a scene where they die on film,
right?
And so this is like Jordan Peele like killing a paparazzi guy for fun because he can.
Jordan Peele,
yeah, and I mean, obviously his death was kind of like symbolic of the spectacle and searching for the shot because he's like, film it, even though he's like knows he's gonna die. He's like, take a picture.
Yeah, he's like, I can't believe you're not filming. This is so important.
Yeah.
Giordano, I'm going to make you adjust your score because
please, yes.
And I didn't give you the rubric in advance, but one element of the rubric will be rewatchability.
Okay.
So you can't give it a 9 if you wouldn't watch it again.
Then I'm going to change it. This is 1 the lowest?
Yeah, 1's the lowest.
Yeah. 1. Solid 1. And I hate you, Jordan Peele. Hate you for making me watch this. I thought it was really fascinating movie. Out of the 3 that I watched from him, for a while I'm like, oh, I like this one the best because it's so weird and all over the place. But I also kind of was getting weird, sort of like the vibes of like, oh, the monster is really you people, the view, because they refer to the monster as the viewer, and it looks like a giant eyeball many times, like a giant white disc with a black pupil, and it's flying around viewing everyone, and it's like, oh, it's the viewer that's killing people. It's all of you horrible viewers. I don't know. It's like Jordan Peele seems like a fascinating person. I went and I was reading about him doing an early life check on Wikipedia, and he was like born and raised in the Upper West Side of Manhattan, from a white mom, absent
What does
father.
Upper West Side mean?
It's a Upper West Side of Manhattan is a relatively nice, American aristocratic place to live.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, the Upper East Side, I think, is supposed to be like the really nice. But
Upper West is like the upper middle class of Manhattan.
yes, I would say so. He went to private schools, and he was raised by just his mom. His father was not part of his life. His father was black. His mom was white, and so he just comes from.
The father wasn't part of his life.
His father was not part of his life. No, according to Wikipedia. And then his father died, I think, when he was 7. So didn't have his dad in his life, and was raised by a white woman in I would say, a fairly white world, and in like a, liberal upper class, like basically the exact type of people he's lampooning in Get Out, of these liberal.
That's where he's from.
White people who live in Connecticut and vote for Obama and are all like super duper sensitive about race and stuff. Anyway, I just noticed, this is probably because I watched all 3 movies, but this trend of sort of, I don't know, there's a hesitation or a little bit of antipathy towards the audience. And I don't know if I was just coming to me or something, but the monster being like the eyeball, and then something about, the chimps going insane and the horses going insane because they keep being looked at, and something about there wasn't that much racism or race related stuff in this. Is that something that we were gonna
for
bring
sure
up, or?
Yeah, we'll get into that. I mean,
because the alien wasn't racism, I don't think.
No. The monster wasn't racism this time.
No, I think I think Peele went out of his way. So I think this is, I could be wrong, but I think this is his biggest budget. Actually, this has to be his biggest budgeted. They filmed it on a big wide open field and IMAX and all that. I think he was really trying to make a summer blockbuster, whereas his other ones were pretty successful, but they were not targeting as broad of an audience. Like, he was trying to make a alien monster movie. So I think he had intentionally put away some of the like social commentary stuff, like, because he's notoriously, his first 2 movies are notoriously heavy handed. Like, Get Out is all about, the, white people appropriating black bodies. And all the like white characters are, kind of cringe. And then Us was this very heavy handed, story about the underclass rising up and, I guess being communist or something.
I didn't get that either.
Yeah, it's not. He doesn't make a good case for the underclass, so maybe he's an elitist. But then this one, I think he was just trying to make a Spielbergian or Spielborgian. I don't know what you'd say, but he's trying to just make a Spielberg blockbuster.
When I first heard about Nope, we were watching it in the movie theater. I don't know what we were watching, but we saw a preview for Nope. And then like the big title in the huge font comes on. And it just says Nope. And I just remember audible laughter from the audience, because that was the really stupid name because it was the preview was scary and like eerie. Then it was just like Nope. And so I was turned off by the name, but I was intrigued. And then driving to work one day, as is my masochistic thing that I do, is I had Morning Edition from NPR on, and they were doing an interview or something with Jordan Peele, and they're oh no, but they were of course going crazy for this movie, and they played a clip, and the clip that they played was the sister talking about her heritage as being descended from the Black Jockey, who was, I guess, technically the first actor in a motion picture, which is, I didn't really know that counted as a motion picture. They were filming a horse running across a field to see if its hooves all
Well,
left
like
the earth.
in like the literal sense of a
In a
motion
literal sense,
picture.
yes, he
It was apparently unintentionally the first motion picture.
Yes,
It was
exactly.
Picture with motion.
the guy who founded Stanford was trying to prove how horses ran, and so
Yes.
wanted a bunch of pictures in motion.
Yes. And that was the clip that they played, and then the woman is like, "Oh, so you know the name of the guy who made the first motion picture of the horse, right?" And he went on to found this movie studio in Hollywood. But what was the name of the jockey? Huh? Gotcha. Do you know his name? Nope. And I was just like, "Oh, okay, I'm not watching this movie," because it's just like they did not sound interesting. But they never really went back to that. Like they didn't make a big deal about that. But I took issue with this scene because I'm like, well, I'm sorry, most people in Hollywood wouldn't know anything about any old Hollywood whatsoever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she does.
Like,
She's
are you
like,
telling me like, oh, the people? Oh yeah, so name all the actors in Wings, which is the first motion picture to win an Academy Award. Yeah, did you remember that guy, Frank
No.
Borzage, Best
Nope.
Director? Nope. Emil Jannings. I'm sorry, I didn't think that they were ignoring the jockey due to racism, but you know, I don't know.
I mean, she's like, you know that Edward Muybridge took the photo or took the video, but you don't know the name of the jockey. But it's like, some people on a film set, they went to
They're
film
like,
school.
you know Thomas Hayden Church and Tony Shalhoub.
Don't you?
But do you
Okay.
remember who played Brian Hackett?
Do you remember the big twist in season 7? I don't think so.
Nope.
Nope. So
That was yeah. You mentioned the NPR thing, and the white NPR hosts are always gushing about Jordan Peele.
yes,
I will say though, this is his lowest scoring critical movie on the
Yeah.
tomato meter.
yeah.
The critics saw it and were like, nope.
Yeah. I mean, it's still an 82, but I do think him like departing from like the heavy-handed like race politics turned some critics off. They're like, oh, without the race politics, is this guy actually good? Like, because Get Out was at 98, which I think is kind of absurd. Get Out's not that good.
Well, the TV show is.
Yeah. Us is at 93, and again, like Us is not that good. So I'm going to jump into my score. I didn't give my 1 through 9 score, but I think Nope is his best movie for sure. Like not even no contest. And not just because he abandons like the cheap politics stuff, which is like appreciated, but that's not like the reason that it's better. It's just better. I'd give it like a 7 out of 9. I think it was a pretty fun movie. I think the final third is like actually pretty exciting. They do I love the setting, like I love how it looks, especially in those daytime scenes, although this was really celebrated for its nighttime scenes. But that final like showdown with the monster I think is really cool, and they have really great music too. They have like more that 90s and 80s style, just like this is a blockbuster. This is supposed to be exciting. You're supposed to be enjoying this, like sort of Western, the kind similar to the music you'd have in like a Western or something. I just thought it was fun. I thought it was pretty good.
I was shocked at the music that it was so good, that it was real music. It sounded again like a Steven Spielbergian, like a John Williams almost. I don't know, just like a traditional score. And then in the credits, I don't think I've ever noticed this in the ending credits, but there was like, they went through and listed every person who played every instrument. So like on cello, and then on bassoon, and then
Nice.
that, like, I was
Who'd they get for bassoon?
Oh yeah, all the best bassoonists were in this. Yeah, top bassoonists.
A veritable who's who of bassoon
of
artists.
bassoonery.
That reminds me of a fictional movie called Helium Buffoon. But anyway, also This Is Us has a 94 on Rotten Tomatoes. Um,
Yeah, that's a
but
94.
no, I'm with you, granted, on the positivity. I liked it, but I guess I just would like need more to like bump it up any higher than like better than average, I guess.
I think it's definitely better than average because if you just whatever, I
If
mean,
it
look
was
what
like
else.
movies this year, yeah, I'd probably rate it higher, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah. Because like we talked about Top Gun on our last podcast, and it's like that was supposedly like the best, most audience friendly
Uh-huh.
movie of the year, and it's good, and I think most people enjoy that, and most people would probably enjoy it more than us or Nope, but I'd say Nope was better. Like Nope was a lot
Yeah,
more fun.
More
Um,
interesting, less
it was
predictable.
more interesting.
yeah, the characters are the characters are kind of weird. Like
I thought it was well acted though. Like I enjoyed the quiet guy and then the loud sister and then the kind of funny Best Buy guy.
yeah,
Fry's
The guy
Electronics,
from
sorry.
Fry's was great. He was
yeah, I
my
thought he was
favorite.
good. His
Yeah.
name, I think his character's name is Angel, and
Hmm.
he comes in
Angel.
he kind of saves them, and then towards the end of the movie, he flies, so he's like he's doing angel
Whoa.
stuff.
Speaking of angels, apparently uh, this movie took a lot of inspiration from anime,
Oh.
including Akira, where the sister does the Akira motorcycle slide.
Yeah, it's like
Wait, what?
it's like
She like slides into where the well is sideways. That's like a famous slide in anime. I'm an anime expert, by the
I
way.
know what you're. I'm not an anime
Oh
guy,
my
but
gosh.
I know the scene you're talking about. I've seen the side by side. Yeah, it, like matches up perfectly.
The
Yeah, and
Haki.
then also the kind of like biblically accurate angels from Neon Genesis Evangelion, and if you Google the angels from that anime, there is one especially that looks a lot like the design of uh, the the weird monster
Amazing.
in this.
Amazing. Jordan Peele, anime fan. That's
Oh,
actually that's not
and
very
there's
surprising.
apparently a lot of biblical references in the movie that I didn't catch.
Oh, really? I mean,
Yeah.
there's Angel, and there's a biblical verse right up front.
Yeah, it starts with a quote from Nahum.
Yeah, and then
Nahum.
there's a reference to the number 613, and so Revelation 613 apparently is something too.
Hmm.
It says, "And the stars of heaven fell on the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken by a mighty wind."
Reference to Mighty Wind.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. The Christopher
Um.
Guest film.
So
Um,
yeah.
can I
The
ask a
Bible is
question?
actually referencing Christopher Guest.
Yeah, this was a big Christopher Guest fest.
uh,
Can I ask a question though? So
yeah,
like this angel thing would like slurp up the dudes and then like kind of digest them like a jellyfish and then spit out all the metal. Is that what I understand?
oh, the
yeah.
alien thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what was happening.
Okay. And like so the way the dad died is the alien was just like pooping out metal really fast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really weird.
this is yeah, that was a little disappointing because when you reveal that it's the giant jellyfish thing, I was like, well, how fast was that nickel
Yeah,
going
like is he like
to bore
propelling
through?
them out? Like
Because then I was like, okay,
Yeah,
no, he's not just dropping it. I mean, he's spitting it out actually.
yeah, because then
And
he spits out all the stuff on the top of the house and kind of like
okay,
right,
so
but
the
it
yeah.
doesn't
power of
like shoot through stuff necessarily.
because
He
like I
must be
think if
putting
you
them.
dropped a nickel from that high, I don't think it would bore through your skull, despite what the internet said in
Yeah,
2002. But
I mean, I can give it a pass just for
that's
like
fine.
why
Sure.
not? But I was just confused because I'm like I thought it was going to be like magnets.
Yeah, it's an interesting visual, but I guess the way around that is they could have just had the monster spit out a larger object, and like, okay, my
Right,
dad died because,
like a
uh,
fan or something. I don't know,
yeah, my dad died because like a baseball fell out of the
or the
sky.
car battery,
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
and then you'd be like,
Um,
where'd this car battery come from? Don't know.
that was genuinely the creepiest thing in that movie was that scene where it shows all the people like screaming and dying in that monster.
Hmm.
I thought that was genuinely disturbing.
That was a. So I would say this
Yeah.
is not a horror movie. It's
No.
more of a.
Yeah, I was going to ask that as well.
So I'll say it's not a horror. It's a.
There's horror elements.
Yeah, it's actually because they're trying to get the video footage. To me, it's actually kind of like an action adventure sort of thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think the music kind of tilts it into that category.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a horror. It's like a monster movie, but not necessarily a horror movie.
Mm-hmm. Kind of War of the Worlds ish.
It was like, it was, he said Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah,
like Steven Spielberg-y stuff.
Well, there's
E.T. even.
Yeah, where E.T. spit out those nickels on that guy.
Yes, and E.T. Was a giant metaphor for OJ Simpson
for racism. E.T. phone home, and when he said on the phone, you can't replay on the radio. It was exactly. The N-word.
Yeah, that's why he.
When I first saw this, I was going to say I think that was the people stuffed inside the monster, and it had that plastic on plastic, it was like two balloons rubbing up against each other. It was kind of a gross sound,
which is like a fetish in some places.
I wouldn't know about it.
Our listeners are all into that. It's disgusting.
Inflation fetish.
Yeah. But that was the second scariest part. The scariest part was when they go back when they do the chimp the second time, and he's like just destroying people. Like that kind of freaked me out.
People's faces.
Yeah,
it would have been scarier if it was a real chimp.
It would have been. I was watching it on a big
someone
TV.
Was really dying.
Well, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was watching it on a big TV, and I was like, I mean, I know that you can't get a chimp these days to go murder people, but the CG chimp, it's like my brain just was.
When it was half off screen, it was believable, but when it was fully on screen, it was like, nah.
The thing about that chimp is it's an actual guy who's walking around, in like a green screen, not a green screen, but he's walking around in a suit.
All the dots.
Yeah, then what they did
was Andy Circus actually.
They made all the furniture like 30% bigger. Yeah, so they actually, they actually filmed a lot of that, but ultimately, they have to render this chimp. It's not going to look very good. But
do you know the race of the actor that played him?
I think he's a white. I think he's a white guy.
Oh, better be white.
He's done. I think he worked on like Planet of the Apes and some other monkey related entertainment.
Did you hear that? Like in the original version of the script, the monster actually would like announce itself by saying the N-word.
That's nope. Yeah,
because they wanted to like kind of have more of that racial message,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And actually, this Nope alien is really a lot like the volleyball player who had racial slurs hurled at her during the BYU game.
Yeah, relentlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of thousands of them.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
And they threw nickels at her.
I was going to say they threw keys, and one of them got lodged in somebody's head. And yeah.
And it's all on video. This was all captured on video.
Right, but then the videos got erased from
because of the EMP racists.
Yes. This is fascinating. I was going to ask, actually, about what was wrong with OJ's head. And why this is the thing that I was watching the whole time, the trucker hat. He was wearing a trucker hat that was like 3 sizes. He had it was like a snapback, maybe way too small. So
he wears it way up high.
Like, why was he just resting it on the top of his head? And that's a very strange directorial decision, I thought.
And I noticed it the most in it was actually one of my favorite pieces of dialogue. It's when Angel and OJ are up on on that ridge, like sort of planning out their final trap, and Angel's saying something like, they changed the name from UFO to UAP because they don't want us to talk about them anymore or something. And I don't know if Peele is not red pilled, but Jordan Peele is like deeply blue pilled, but
yes.
So I don't think he knew quite what he was saying, but it's like, to me, I thought that was a really good exchange, because it's like, that's what people do now. They change the names of things, they change the meanings of words, so you can't like people can't like trade information as easily. And so you can't normalize around like one concept because it keeps getting like diluted by language. I thought that was like maybe unintentionally an insightful thing from Peele.
This is,
Or I mean, he did. I don't think he wrote the movie. Actually, I don't know who wrote it.
He did this in this other movie so much that it was almost shocking to me of how
He wrote says he wrote the screenplay.
Craniometry is the measurement of the cranium, the main part of the skull, usually the human cranium. It's a subset of cephalometry, but anyway, it's a pseudoscience that tried to link personality and character to head shape and physiognomy, which tried the same for facial features.
Yeah, Giordano's out here doing craniometry on our show.
Before we move forward, asking about the main character of a Jordan Peele movie and his head shape, I'd like to distance myself from this pseudoscience.
I'm just saying, his hat. Just make the hat.
No, he's got a weird bean-shaped forehead or something.
Or just put the hat like lower on his head. Do they want? I don't know.
Maybe that's just what his head looks like.
He filmed this in not 4K, in IMAX, like on an IMAX camera. So imagine, it's so big. The image is so huge, but that's what you're going to do for the like 90% of the film. I'm watching this guy, and you could see the light shining in through the mesh of his trucker hat, because it's not touching his skull. So there's like a good maybe 2 inches of it just like above his head. It's just very strange.
He was born to Ugandan parents.
The OJ?
Oh, I could have told you that by his head shape.
Classic Ugandan. He's got the Ugandan ridge. Yep.
Yeah, he's got. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I could tell that a mile away.
His father lived in Malawi, and they had no contact till he was 15.
Aw. Malawi.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say about just Get Out and Us. Get Out is an amazing movie. I think I actually disagree that I think Get Out is maybe his best one. Because I actually think it was. I mean, I don't know if it's a work of art or it's insane. It's a crazy movie, and I know that it just seemed like, oh, it's about these crazy, annoying, stupid white people who are dumb and cringe, and
crazy rich white people,
right? And they're kidnapping black people.
So are they sussy?
Sussy AF.
Did you guys catch my crazy rich Asians joke?
No, I haven't seen it. I'm a huge Awkwafina fan, though. Isn't she in that?
Crazy? Yeah, I thought, of course, that's what else is she in? But the kidnapping people and then transplanting their brains, taking their brains out and putting white people's brains into the black people's bodies. And I was like, this is crazy, because it's you're making fun of your fan base. Like, that's their ultimate desire, is that they wish that they could be cool and black and hip and have black bodies. But then I also was thinking, like, he's just an autobiographical movie, because he's from a black father and a white mother in this black body, but he's surrounded and raised by white people. So he's got like this white brain and a black body. And then he made a movie about it. And then NPR loved it and said it was, an anti-racist movie. But I thought it was actually a pretty racist movie.
Basically. You heard it here, folks. Get Out is racist.
Yeah.
It's a pretty racist movie, guys. I don't think that...
I'm going to have to watch it. After I finish all the seasons of Get Out, the TV show.
You have to. The movie won't make sense unless you watch those first.
Undeniably, Peele is he's a good craftsman. He's good at, like...
Yeah.
We've talked about Spielberg a bunch, but he's similar to Spielberg. He can put together a really nice series of scenes. He can do it.
Him making it, that's why basically he can make anything at this point now, and it'll be more interesting than most of what's out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of enjoy his lack of doing pre-existing IP, which is very
Yep.
like rare nowadays. But now I wanted to ask, what do you guys think he would like? What IP that's out there would he be a great director for?
He'd be great for remaking the films of M. Night Shyamalan,
Yeah,
but like more like racial, imbued with more racial
more race.
tension. Yeah, because it was reminded me of a good M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah, I meant to bring up Shyamalan because
I'm a Shyamalan fan.
yes, and
Shyamalan head.
I think the
Yeah.
third, from the thousands of new listeners we have right now, go back and listen to episode 3 about signs.
Yeah, Signs.
Because when I saw Nope, the 3 movies I thought of were Jaws, Signs, and Tremors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yes,
Tremors.
there's a Shyamalan. How do you? I don't know how to say.
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan. There's a Shyamalanianness to Peele work.
Yes.
Shyamalan.
The highest compliment.
Yeah, Shyamalan I think is more like he seems to set most of his things in a more like politically neutral world.
Yeah.
And of course, Peele is more in like a politically racial world.
Also, I'll say his characters seem a little more like real or regular.
They seem like real human beings.
Yeah, some of Shyamalan's stuff, it's like no one actually ever talks like that. It's almost more of like a story than trying to portray reality in any way.
Yes. And actually, I thought that the Nope. No, maybe this was us.
I want to recast Mel Gibson as the dad, and then Joaquin Phoenix as the OJ.
Yeah.
And then whichever woman is in that movie as the woman.
There was a woman in Signs?
No, there wasn't. There was the cop lady.
There was the cop.
Oh yeah, the cop lady.
Yeah, she's the sister.
Abigail Breslin as the sister.
Yeah, Abigail Breslin. She's old enough.
Yeah.
Just do the Kieran Culkin or whatever.
Yeah, Kieran Culkin can be the guy.
Yeah.
One of the Culkins.
Joaquin can be the Best Buy employee.
Yeah.
The what was the meaning of the why was it called Nope other than
they say it a couple times.
They say it a few times and they're like,
well, there's
the title.
I don't know if you guys have heard of this website called Reddit. But on Reddit there was like this thing where it was like every time there's something scary, you say nope. And you go like nope, 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 or whatever when you see a spider or a demon.
Well, I thought it was maybe like talking about like racial stuff.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was like the commentary on like there's always the thing where they're like, white people in horror movies always walk right towards the scary thing. And then, they're like, there's a demon in this forest. Let's go check it out. And us black people, we would run.
But
something like that.
Black people be like, nope.
Yeah, and so I thought that was the meaning of it because there is the part where they have the fake aliens in it. And he's just like, nope, and starts leaving.
I listened to a review from a black guy, and that he did say that. He's like, well, it's called nope because that's what black people say. Black people say nope when they encounter something that they don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
There's one other thing I'd heard. I don't know if he confirmed. He either confirmed or refuted it, but people had said, well, since it's not really a UFO, it's a monster. But it's from outer space. So some people had said nope stands for not of planet Earth.
That sounds like
that's true. That's what it is.
A folk etymology to me.
Not of planet Earth.
Yeah.
This is not of planet Earth.
Wikipedia folk etymology.
Well, that's
a linguistic term for an etymology that's made up as a explanation for where a word
for unlawful carnal knowledge
by the folks, if you will,
the good folks. Yes, that is a great explanation, but that is interesting. That's like, oh yeah, that's what black people say during a scary part of the movie. Well, it's like, okay, that's interesting. I guess you have to name it that. all his other titles are really short, one syllable, monosyllable. Oh no, I guess Get Out. That's 2. Us. Nope.
His
I don't
next
know
one
why.
would be like,
Definitely very short names. He doesn't like a long name.
OJ. I actually thought this movie was basically just supposed to be about OJ Simpson. I thought honestly that's what the whole thing was. It was just about OJ Simpson, and like it's basically your fault that OJ did what he did.
Yeah, Jordan Peele is no JMW Turner.
who's that? I don't know
I
that
don't
one.
know who that is.
Just an artist who is famous for his really long titles, including the painting Snowstorm, Steamboat Off a Harbor's Mouth, Making Signals in Shallow Water, Going by the Lead. The author was in the storm on the night Ariel left Harwich.
That sounds like an AI prompt.
Yeah.
No, because okay, well, I couldn't think of anything, but Nope should have like a super long title that stands for, but
Yeah.
I can't think of one. Anyway, also in this movie there was a white horse named Ghost.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, Ghost, like Jon Snow. That was my other note. And he was into his sister, which was like Game of Thrones too.
Yeah.
But,
Well, the sister, by the way, was the sister says she does not date boys.
oh,
I
She
didn't catch
dates
that.
men.
She mentions
real
like
man.
a girl who she stays that she like lives with or something, or stays at her house, and she mentions having a therapist who was a woman but was also a lover.
Oh, so he
You
probably
know,
got
I
like
don't see gender.
Yeah.
I don't
actually
even
you didn't know there was a woman in this movie.
The one thing also was the inflatable tube men that were hooked up to a car battery.
Mm-hmm.
Why were those there? And what was the point of that?
Because if they go down, you know that where he's at, up in the sky.
Oh,
Yeah,
like above the clouds?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a detection system.
So it has a very focused area of EMP.
Yeah, the
directly below him.
EMP-ness. It kind of
The
didn't make
EMP-ness?
sense.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
the EMP-ness was quite
Excuse
large.
me.
They were spread out by like
This
50 to 100
movie was
feet.
really
No, but like
hard.
at one point they all go down, and it's like, wait, so can he like control like what beam he takes down with his EMP-ness?
And also, the EMP-ness question was bothering me the entire time. I just could not stop thinking about
it's
it.
not consistent, but I think that was the idea.
I know this is stupid, but I'm just like, how do you guys? I'm sorry, but like, have you ever tried stealing an inflatable tube man from a car dealership? Because
No.
when stealing one is hard enough, but they had, I'm not kidding, they had like 30 or 40.
Yeah,
like,
they
where
did.
do you have to make multiple trips to get those?
Did they steal them from Jupe, the guy who ran the?
No, there was like a car dealership. I thought.
Yeah, they like went to a car dealership and there was a bunch out,
Yeah.
and like they went on off hours, and
So
took
that
it.
alone makes me give this a 1 because that's fake.
They would have gotten
fake.
You know what scene was really cool?
It's
like toward the middle, one of the times when the monster is like, you know, above the house and terrorizing everyone, and the music is playing that I Wear My Sunglasses at Night song, but it's slowing down.
And the vaporwave version.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool way to make the music diegetic. Like it's, you know, it's the music that the characters hear too. But it's like scary music. But I thought it was kind of a clever way they did that.
That was clever, and it did still bother me while watching it because I was like, "What is he listening to that on a tape or like how do you?" But I didn't. I know that wasn't the point, but it did pop into my head.
I thought about that too. I'm like, why would music from the radio start slowing down?
Because
the radio waves slow down.
Or maybe he had,
okay, I could
had
sure, yeah.
Maybe he spins vinyl in his car.
Maybe maybe it was bending time slightly.
Time bender. I'm M. Night Shyamalan.
The Sunglasses at Night thing has a second meaning though, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but most of those night scenes were shot during the day. So yeah, apparently, I mean that's like not a new thing. Movies have done that for a long time, but apparently this was one of the most effective uses of like day for night photography.
It did look good. It did. And
Yeah, I never questioned what time of day it was.
yeah, most of the time I like when things were outside during the day because I felt like couldn't even remember the last time I had seen a movie that was outside and not like in front of a green screen with fake flickering, like the fake lighting they always use. And
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah, so I was like, oh wow, you went outside to make this movie. That's like
Yeah, there were
should
like
win
actual sets and stuff.
yeah, you
I
should
like
win an
that too,
Oscar.
and it gives it a feel of it's almost like an honorary western, just because
Yeah.
there's so much wide open, like hillsides and stuff.
I also one other thing I didn't understand about the movie. I'm sorry, I have to keep asking clarification
I have
stuff.
questions too.
Go for
um,
it. The
that
people who are here are learning the true meaning
when
of
Glenn from The Walking Dead is running his Wild West show, he loads up what appears to be like a horse. That was he going to feed that horse to the
Yeah.
monster? And
Yes.
then was
And
that just like
apparently he had been doing that over the
for
weeks,
some
and
time?
because like the guy was like, I want to buy back some of the horses, and he's like, I can't really do that.
Oh,
He had bought 10 horses from the guy because their business was going bankrupt, so they had to keep selling their horses, and they didn't realize the guy was just feeding them to a monster.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm sorry, but like, how much money are you spending on? Like, how much are you charging people to come in and watch a horse get eaten? And then, like, because I feel like a horse is kind of expensive, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. I just watched The Godfather, and
Apparently
the guy was
horses
like,
are kind of cheap.
"Oh, okay," because the guy was like those really
Not
nice
necessarily
horses.
trained ones, like those
Yeah.
might cost more, and then like
Okay.
purebreds are like, tens of thousands, but like
Okay.
just
Okay.
a regular horse, you can get one for like 500, $600.
I could just go buy a
Those were
horse if
movie
I want.
horses. They would have been expensive.
Yeah.
You're ruining it. Okay. Well,
No,
then
I
how
think they
much is
said
you?
one sold for like 11.5 is
Well,
what he said.
I
Okay, he's
think
like,
though the
he has to be
the thing
making
is
at
like
least that much. Yeah.
that character Glenn from The Walking Dead. I used to know his real name. I can't remember it,
His name's Glenn.
but
Yeah, Glenn.
I mean, he's sort of like the villain of the movie anyway. He's like he just desperately wants like fame again. So
Oh.
I guess he's willing to invest like 30,000 a pop for a crowd of like 9 people.
Of 9 people who paid maybe $15 to come watch
So
this.
my question is about Glenn. So
Hmm.
is he traumatized by the childhood monkey killing, or is he okay with it,
I
or
think
he's like selling it for clout? Maybe I don't
he's
know.
traumatized, but he's just like instead of dealing with it, he's just like
Let me make money
uh
off of it.
yeah.
Maybe
And he's
that's a
like
commentary on like Me Too and the that whole thing where like Demi Lovato just released a song about being sexually assaulted by Wilder Valderrama.
No, not Demi.
Hmm.
Um,
She was
yeah, it's
17 and he was 29.
ew.
Hmm.
um, it seemed
So
like
he was raped as a child. That's what the ape symbolizes.
the ape, right. It was the ape was people making money off of videos or media of
Uh-huh.
chimps going
Like
crazy and
exploitative media.
exploitative media of like animals killing people.
Hmm.
well, for a child star, it's traumatizing, but it's also like your meal ticket and
Yeah.
it's what made you relevant and
And then
important.
like when you're an adult, you don't have anything to show for it other than coasting off of your own popularity.
Well, yeah, maybe one of the idea behind his character as well. Maybe they're just trying to show he never learned a lesson. He's like
Mm.
he didn't learn the lesson that you can't expect a chimp to behave, and he made the same mistake. Or that wasn't his fault because he was a kid, but he didn't learn the lesson from someone else's mistake, and he tries to tame. He thinks he can predict and control another wild animal.
Um,
I'm sorry, but there's one part of this with the TV show. What was the name of the show? Does anyone remember?
Gordy's
Uh,
home.
Gordy's
Gordy's
home.
okay. And Glenn was saying the show when he was describing it to OJ's sister was saying Gordy's Home was huge commercial success, but also critically beloved. Like he said something about how critics loved Gordy's Home. So I'm fascinated by this aspect of this universe, like where there was a 90s sitcom with a laugh track about a chimp living with people, but that was also that critics thought was amazing. That they thought it was like a really good show. So that was like, I really want to see this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
On the final showing of the Gordy's home set, there's another thing that I stole from another video. But they come around. I probably shouldn't even say it, but
Yeah,
they come around the corner slowly, and it shows the film cameras. I call cameras film cameras. Um, and on the top, there's like a gray, kind of oval shape thing with two holes in it for like the film, but it's made to look like the same alien costumes that the kids are wearing in the horse trailer.
Oh,
So like the film itself is the alien
the
watching
film
you or something.
is the alien.
So there's some meaning there, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're coming around the corner slowly, right? Like slowly panning, and you see the three little cameras for the multi-camera sitcom, and they it looks like three little alien dudes.
Well, I think that this meant something.
Yeah, it
Jordan
means
Peele.
something, right?
It meant something to him. I think I remarked on this or some other one that just felt like maybe not so much the script, but the story was written in English, but then put into like a Google Translate into Icelandic, and then like translated into Japanese, and then back to English. So like I kind of got about most of it, like, but I just didn't understand some of the
No, I actually there was a time where I was like, I don't know what they're saying. Like,
I don't
That's
know
a
what they're
problem in
saying.
that to me is like a recurring problem in a lot of modern movies where maybe they're going for authenticity or something, but they will let the actors like mumble.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
no,
come
I was
speak
like, I
up,
think I need to
please.
turn on the subtitles for this torrent that I ripped.
Download those subtitles too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
There was
only
some.
real
Mhm.
I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I think for what it's trying to do, I think it's pretty good. My main criticism, and this is like my criticism of 90% of movies, it's just a little too long. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I think it was
was.
2 hours 10, and I'm like, this becomes quite a bit better if you can find like 15 minutes. And I know where you'd find them. Personally, I would reduce some of that Gordy's home stuff.
Especially
Hmm.
considering it had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, other than like symbolism.
Other than he
Yeah,
was
I mean,
saying this is a territorial monster taken out of its habitat and put in a foreign habitat, and therefore it's going to start murdering people.
yeah, and I
And
think you could have
like, well,
it sets up, it gives
yeah,
us insight into the Glenn character, and it gives us and it's like it parallels the story of the monster in the sky, but I think you could have done all that with like just one Gordy's home flashback and like cap it at like
Right. And
three
then they
minutes.
do like 3 or 4 different horses getting abducted. They probably could have shrunk that to 1 or 2.
Yeah,
as much
that's
as
my
I love
only.
horse abductions, and I genuinely
Hmm.
do. The first when I was in um, high school, I think the first time I ever attempted writing a short story, and this is going to sound fake, but the first time it was about UFOs abducting zebras. And there was zebras were all disappearing from the world because they were being abducted by UFOs.
Do you have
I have a horse abduction story.
real quick though, before your horse abduction, Giordano? Do you have evidence of when you wrote this story? Can you say that Peele ripped you off?
Oh yeah,
Mm.
I'm sure that he did, because I probably have it in a notebook somewhere, or back I probably had a GeoCities
Yeah,
site
did you put it
and
online?
probably uploaded it to that. So if we could do the internet Wayback Machine, and he probably went on there and ripped me off, just like J.K. Rowling and everyone else, Stephanie Meyer. Okay, so yes, and he will be hearing from my lawyer.
The Wayback Machine actually only archives the bad things you've said online. It doesn't do anything else.
I know, right?
Nothing good, actually. Yeah.
Sorry, Fraser, I cut you off about your horse abduction story.
Oh yeah, so I'm on my mission. We just moved into a new house that was kind of like up on a hill by itself. And it had like 8-foot cinder block walls all the way around it with like razor wire. You know the difference between razor wire and barbed wire?
Yeah.
It's more deadly.
Yeah.
No, but so anyway, it was kind of like a weird house that we got. It was also like only half of it was finished and the rest of it was just like a concrete block. But anyway, one day we walk outside and there is just this big bloody mess of like internal organs. And then there's a sack with this weird looking thing with like eyes and just weird looking like fish thing in there. And I'm like, did an alien like drop off like a pod here? And my companion was less concerned, so he got a stick and poked open the sack. At which point we saw it kind of looked like a horse. So anyway, we end up asking around, and they're like, oh yeah, that happens all the time. And we're like, this happens all the time? And they're like, yeah, so people will steal other people's horses and sell the meat. But if the horse is pregnant, it's like worth less. So they just cut out the baby and leave it there and then sell the horse meat.
That's awful.
Yeah, so there was just like a dead embryonic horse right on our doorstep.
Well,
that's the last thing you think that you're gonna find.
On that note,
yeah.
Thanks for joining us, folks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else? I am gonna wrap it up here, but anything else we should touch on?
No, I mean I feel like
I'm good.
We've covered everything in my notes and then some. I originally was gonna vote for Josh Hutcherson to be the replacement, but I didn't. I changed it last minute.
Yeah. Well, I think I give a yep to nope. I think nope's pretty good.
You give a yep to nope?
Yeah.
They should use that pull quote.
Give it a yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give a huge big thumbs up to Nope. Watch it today.
Yeah, double yep to Nope.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you find yourself in a situation where you have to kidnap someone's horse and slaughter it, do the decent thing and properly dispose of the...
well, we were right near a dump, too, so that was part of it.
I mean, what the... There's people these days.
Properly dispose of the horse embryo.
Yeah, if you've made it to this far in the show, hashtag embryonic horse sack. We'll be keeping an eye out on that on all social media.
Yeah, hashtag not all horses, hashtag justice for horses, hashtag
jean jacket. I really appreciate you guys all tuning in, and I love all of you.
Yes, thank you.